Have you ever heard people say that you should reject your dark side, the parts of you that you might be ashamed of or afraid to confront? Well, what if I told you that your dark side isn't something you should fear, but something you should embrace? In this video, we're going to dive deep into the hidden power of your dark side and how, by understanding and integrating it, you can uncover your true potential. Let's start with a question. What do you think of when you hear the term dark side? For most of us, it's linked to negative traits, anger, jealousy, fear, selfishness, or even destructive behaviors. It's the part of ourselves we're often told to suppress or deny. But the reality is that your dark side isn't inherently evil. It's simply the parts of yourself that you've rejected or haven't fully explored. In psychology, Carl Jung introduced the concept of the shadow self. The shadow represents all the parts of our personality that we hide from the world and often from ourselves. These traits are often seen as negative, but they are actually an essential part of who we are. Jung believed that if we ignore our shadow, it can lead to imbalance and unconscious behavior. But if we confront and integrate it, it can lead to profound personal growth. Imagine this. Every time you suppress a feeling or deny an aspect of your personality, you're creating a divide within yourself. Over time, that divide creates inner conflict, confusion, and emotional pain. But when you face your dark side, you begin to understand the motivations behind your emotions, desires, and actions. You start to understand why you behave the way you do. And here's the thing. These so-called negative emotions are not inherently destructive. They're simply energies that, when harnessed and directed, can propel you forward in ways you never imagined. The problem is not the emotion itself. It's how we handle it. When you push away feelings like anger or sadness, they don't disappear. They become repressed and often show up in ways that can harm you. But when you learn to confront these emotions and embrace them as part of who you are, you gain a deeper understanding of yourself and your reactions. Now, here's where the magic happens. By accepting your dark side, you actually gain a source of untapped power. When you stop rejecting these parts of yourself, you stop wasting energy on denial and resistance. Instead, you channel that energy into creating the life you truly desire. Think about it. We all have moments of self-doubt, insecurity, or even anger. What if those emotions could be used to fuel growth instead of holding us back? When we understand our anger, for example, we can use it to create boundaries, stand up for ourselves, or take action toward change. Our fear can motivate us to step out of our comfort zones and pursue what truly matters. One of the most powerful things you can do is embrace your anger, not as a force that harms, but as a signal. Anger is often a response to something you feel is unjust or unfair. It's a powerful emotion that signals when boundaries are being crossed, whether it's in a relationship, at work, or within yourself. The key is not to let anger control you. Instead, use it to fuel action, to stand firm in your beliefs, and to advocate for what you need. Another dark emotion is fear. Fear often keeps us stuck in place, afraid to take risks or make changes. But fear is a natural response to uncertainty, and by facing it head-on, we can build resilience and courage. Think about some of the most successful people in history. They didn't let fear control them. Instead, they embraced it as a sign of growth and pushed through it. Fear is often a signal that we're on the verge of something new, something important. It's a sign that we're stretching beyond our comfort zone. And while fear might never fully go away, we can learn to work with it instead of letting it control us. When you acknowledge fear, you take away its power over you. But it's not just about the big, intense emotions. The dark side can also include aspects like shame, guilt, or even insecurity. These emotions often come from past experiences, from things we've done or things that have been done to us. But here's the secret. Those emotions do not define you. They are simply a part of your story. When you confront these feelings, you can rewrite the narrative. You can release the guilt and shame and step into a more empowered version of yourself. By embracing your dark side, you begin to see these emotions for what they truly are. Not enemies, but powerful allies. When you understand your shadow self, you can tap into its energy and use it to create positive change in your life. Let's talk about the concept of integration. Integration is the process of accepting and understanding your shadow side rather than rejecting it. This doesn't mean you act on every dark impulse you feel. It means acknowledging it, understanding its roots, and finding constructive ways to channel that energy. Integration involves taking responsibility for the darker parts of yourself instead of blaming others or external circumstances. It's about owning who you are, both the light and the dark, and using that understanding to grow. When you integrate your shadow, you stop feeling fragmented. You become whole. Your actions are no longer controlled by unconscious fears or repressed desires. Instead, you start acting from a place of self-awareness, self-empowerment, and authenticity. Now, I want you to think about one part of your dark side that you've been resisting. It could be an emotion like jealousy, insecurity, or even anger. What happens if you allow yourself to explore it instead of pushing it away? What could that part of you be trying to teach you? What if that emotion is actually an invitation to grow? Embracing your dark side doesn't mean you accept unhealthy or destructive behaviors. It means acknowledging that every part of you has a purpose, and when you understand the deeper message behind your emotions, you can make empowered choices. Instead of suppressing your anger, you can use it to assert boundaries. Instead of hiding your fear, you can use it to inspire courage. Remember, your dark side is a part of you, just like your light side. The key is not to let it control you, but to understand it, learn from it, and integrate it into your life. Only then can you unlock the true potential that lies within you.